Let's go.
Public school to be elevated to
But
a
that's
level
not
where
gonna,
they.
that's not
Why
gonna
not?
happen.
Why not?
Because it's a government school. The government.
And Hassan knows this too because he was fucking put in private school. He knows this isn't good. Like he knows the government. Really
Come
isn't
on now,
doing a good
dog.
job, with this. And so
Come
he's
on,
in
man.
private school, and he benefited from it. So what's even the point? Why defend something that you would use?
I'm gonna come.
Oh, I believe that the government should take.
Did you have a question for me?
I forgot what it was. Oh, the families, right?
A father and mother in your home. Were you
Yes.
raised by two parents?
Yeah.
Do you think life would have been different for you? So if black
Here we go again.
Stop having 77% of the children out of wedlock.
Yeah.
Would they have a better life?
Okay.
I think a lot of people are simply afraid to bring this up because it sounds racist. Like, if that stat is true, that it's 77% like black births take place where there's no father in the picture or it's like out of wedlock, that's really bad. Like, having two parents is huge for quality of your upbringing, generally the quality of your life overall. And if this is a very common denominator in all these things, it needs to be something we address. It needs to be something I think to either ignore this or say that it isn't a big problem because you're racist.
Yes, they would. Why? Why are 7% of African American children are born out of
77% of
wedlock?
black
Why?
children are born to black women who are citizens of this country because
Why?
they have no
What, they have no moral? Interesting accusation. Is there any data to back up that claim?
I don't need data. I don't.
Well, there's so much wrong with this. Is there any data to back up his opinion that black people have no morals? Well, that's an opinion. So if it's his opinion, why would there be data to back it up? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Need my eye.
like if there was data, it wouldn't be like a direct one-to-one. Like, here's the data that supports my opinion. What would be data that supports a fact? And
Okay.
They have
So
no
you have
moral.
your feelings. You
Because
have your
it was-
feelings
no, not
over
feelings.
real.
No. When I was growing up, black men and women got married. That made a difference. They worked hard. That made a difference.
Evidences?
And they didn't have affirmative action based on color.
Are you familiar with anecdotal evidence?
What does that mean?
well, he just kind of gave the evidence, right? Even though Hassan's like, do you have any data for this? He gives his own evidence, which is his like lived experience, which like Hassan's side of the political aisle is so huge on how big lived experience is. You should trust victims. You should believe what people say if they're part of protected groups, minority groups. Yet when this guy goes out and says something Hassan disagrees with, his lived experience is bullshit. It's just useless anecdotal evidence, which I think is so. Hassan can't conclude that's why he thinks they're immoral. That's so stupid. Is he like, this is insane.
I'm pro
So you don't know what morals are. What do you get
Exactly.
your value for?
I think
Are you
non-moral-
Christian?
We let this motherfucker in. That's on us, right? We let Miss Piker run right over and plant this demon in our country. Crazy. It's our fault. We're
That's
accountable here.
amazing. And so this guy, is Kink, what's his name? Chink?
Jank.
Jank.
Yes.
Is that your nephew? I mean your
My
uncle?
uncle, yes.
That's your uncle.
Yeah.
What is it? You work for him?
I do, yeah.
What is it like working for him?
Pretty good. And it was good days and bad days, just like any other job, you know?
Yeah. Are you a liberal?
I wouldn't consider myself a liberal, no.
Are you a conservative?
No, I'm certainly not a conservative. I'm a leftist, and I would consider liberals to be conservative. I'm more
Let this dick in your mama's mouth. I'm sorry. That was out of place.
progressive than most liberals.
And why?
هكر يا جماعة لو انتبهتوا لحركاته هكر.
Even in outdated modes of outdated economic systems that have yielded terrible results for
Outdated economic systems that are currently in place that you benefit from every fucking day. These are criticisms that have been levied against Hassan since the beginning of his career, yet they're still completely fucking true. He says, yeah, they believe in these outdated...
You're playing with your ass,
systems
nigga.
of economics.
Today your ass is gonna die,
Again,
bitch.
he just-
Say goodnight, motherfucker.
What is it? It's unbelievable. It is.
the majority of Americans and the overwhelming majority of people around the world.
And this is why people call him a grifter. Because even if deep down he does believe in social
Oh, shit.
in practice,
Here we go again.
he doesn't live like how he claims wants to believe, which is why you're a hypocrite, why you're grifting. I just can't believe that someone would hold opinions so deeply, so core to who they are, yet live in like the opposite way almost at all times.
Say that you,
Unless they have something to get from it, which he does, which is all the fucking money and fame in the world.
at one time was a Muslim, right?
Well, I was raised in a Muslim family, but they were very progressive. My father still considers himself a Muslim, even though he doesn't follow the 5 pillars or whatever, he never went to Hajj or anything. And my mother is probably not. My mother's not very religious. Yeah.
Is Islam a religion?
Yes.
It is.
It's one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, as far as I know.
And is it a religion of peace?
Yes.
Well, why do they chop off people's head and hold women back and throw homosexuals from the rooftops and they want to take over other countries? And they even say you can lie. They can say you can lie to the
Can we just
Christian.
pause for a brief moment?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about your personal black experience and use that as empirical evidence, as fact. But when I try to tell you about Muslims, you're like, nope, that doesn't work that way. I have my own perspective. If you have actual evidence to back up your claims, then we could have a conversation. Maybe I can describe where you are confused.
Man.
How about Allahu Akbar?
Which means,
I love it. It's such a simple comeback, but what does he even say? I feel like Jesse Lee Peterson isn't the most well-spoken. I don't think he's super well-articulate. Not that I disagree with much of what he says. I just think if someone else was debating Hassan, they could do a much better job embarrassing him. Hassan should have a very easy time here, in my opinion, from a debate perspective. He's getting fucking dog-walked. It's so sad, but I don't. I think it's hilarious. I could watch this shit all day.
God is great.
Like when they're about to kill you, blow you up, or chop off your head, or make sure women don't drive, or cut off their private parts.
Okay. How
All
about
in the
this?
name of Allahu Akbar. That's my favorite.
Let me know down below if you agree with Jesse Lee Peterson that Will Hassan Piker is absolutely lying and that Islam is not a peaceful religion. I mean, the Middle East used to be all Christian way back in the day, and then guess what? Islam was formed, and they either forcibly converted everybody or killed them. This is what caused the Crusades. This is why Christianity fought back, because Islam was just conquering and murdering everyone in its path. The very inception of Islam as a religion was born and bathed in blood. No.
Well, I think a lot of, like, if you look at religions, if you look at nations, is built on blood, right? So I don't think that's like an Islam unique thing. But I think that when you're looking at any particular sort of religious extremism and fundamentalism, you're going to get some pretty scary stuff in practice. So I think the way you interpret your religion makes it so that you behave like a normal person in today's standards, then you're good in my books. Like, truthfully, I don't have a problem with people based on their religion unless they start using it to justify, like, just either annoying behavior, bad behavior, etc. That's why so many people, like, I think this is generally true with vegans as well, because vegans, they act in a way where you'd think veganism is a religion. So what they'll do is, like, they'll sort of like scold you and like be morally grandstanding about how good of people they are because they don't eat meat and how evil you are, and that sort of just like beating down on others, grandstanding, makes people totally turned off to your cause, even if they might be interested or might even agree with you to some capacity, right? And it's like the same thing with Christianity. If you have people like, you know, door knocking and they won't leave, and people like scolding you for doing things that they consider sinful,
I agree with him 100%.
like most people would
Dude, if I was like, you know what, I'm
consider
thinking about being vegan, all I would have to do is talk to like 2 vegans, and then I'd be like, yeah, I don't,
Generally, if you're
this,
not evil
yeah.
or annoying, people won't care if you're religious, and I think it actually would make them more interested.
Like, literally, vegans are the worst fucking people.
If the way you behave is totally normal and civilized.
Oh, Islam is not a religion of peace. And you know, I never knew this, but Hassan Piker, this mother effer is literally an anchor baby. I never knew that about him.
I didn't know that either.
And no wonder he hates ICE. No wonder he hates immigration enforcement. Because this guy, if, you know, American natives had their way, wouldn't have even gotten citizenship in the first place, and we wouldn't even have to deal with this guy. No wonder he hates everything that Trump and MAGA is trying to do by kicking out all the illegals right now. Not only
100%. And like, it's clear that his mom and him similarly view America as merely like an economic opportunity zone. And I think when you have people coming here and all they view America from, or they view America as, is this like economic opportunity zone, you're making it so that there's no ties to the land itself, the people, the culture, the tradition, the behavior. And I just think that makes it so that the whole boiling pot, the whole melting pot narrative of like different people from different backgrounds all getting along, all waving the flag, even if they're different, kind of hard to believe, or at least hard to further when you have people not waving the flag, people burning the flag. It's not really a melting pot if you're throwing in ingredients that, you know, it's like Mentos and Pepsi. You can put them together, but it creates something bad. So that's what I would say is what we're getting now, and something that I think needs to change.
That, but when you look all across the West at the number of, I don't know, terrorist attacks, guess who is the overwhelming majority of them? They're almost all Islamic. Like, seriously, we're just...
And if that is a true confirmed fact, you should be allowed to say that without fear of being called racist. Again, like, if we're afraid to tell the truth, then lies will prevail. It's really a simple fucking concept.
Overlook that, and not to mention that, look at the UK. Look at the number of rapes that are happening over there, and who are the vastly number that is responsible for all of them now that didn't used to be there 20 years ago? Muslim. Like 90% of all the grapes in all of these European countries are done by Muslims now. Like, is Islam really a peaceful, nice religion that you want to be around? No. They're only progressive in the sense that they are progressive up until the point that they can take control, and then you're going to be Muslim whether you like it or not. But hit that like button and notification bell if you're enjoying the video, and let's get back in.
Christianity has far more bodies.
That's not true.
Absolutely true.
No.
Okay, well then answer me this question then. When George W. Bush said, "God told me to invade Iraq and Afghanistan," why do we not consider that a Christian genocide?
Well, what I find very interesting is, even though Hassan argues from this perspective, I really do believe that if he was offered to live in like a predominantly Muslim country versus America, which is predominantly Christian, with the exact same material standards, like his same large mansion house, sports cars, maybe as a private chef, whatever. If those were like control factors, he would probably still say predominantly Christian America, which is interesting because if everything else is the same, if those are the only two things that are different, but he considers one to be more violent than others, why wouldn't he live in the less violent? I don't think he would. I really don't think he would. And I think where he lives now kind of shows that.
Or in Iraq.
Because that was just one person. But Christianity,
what about a lot of the military members who
I bet you would not go back to your country and say,
"See,
I'm no longer Muslim." They'll kill you.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
You have no idea about.
Well, I think it's even clear with when he says I'm culturally Muslim that he has to sort of pussyfoot around saying that he doesn't believe in any of it because he knows that people who would be upset by it would be people who he's kind of afraid of. Well, yeah, I'm kind of agnostic, but I'm super culturally Muslim. I believe in all. It's like, you know, it sounds like you're really trying to tell a half-truth, like a white lie.
No,
You want to go to the Muslim and tell them.
Turkey currently has a. Well, first of all, Turkey's a secular democratic republic.
Well, you may can go to Turkey, but you want to go to a Muslim country.
Turkey is a Muslim country. It's
You want to say that
98% Muslim.
you would not say that I'm no longer Muslim.
I say it all the time.
Not to them.
Yes, I do.
Amazing.
There are plenty of atheists who are, or there are plenty
This
of
is news to me. Hassan regularly flies to Turkey, tapping people on the shoulder and telling them he's not Muslim. Is that something he does? I haven't seen that stream. Someone send me the VOD.
agnostic Turkish people, and there are plenty of progressive Muslims who don't subscribe to a lot of the things that you're mentioning. As a matter of fact, the overwhelming majority of Muslims are not a part of the monolith, the picture that you're trying to paint all of Islam as.
People mock progressive churches and progressive Christians as being like wolf in sheep's clothing, lying, sinful larpers, like these churches where they're like LGBT people, everyone is like, oh yeah, everyone here is going to hell. All the Christians like that, everyone there is going to hell. And if that's how Christians, I can't even imagine how Muslims treat progressive Muslims.
I would never trust it. You know this. I would never, because they have been taught, they have been taught to lie to the people.
Do you think homosexuality is bad?
It's not good.
It's not good. What would you do about it?
Show them how to overcome.
Okay.
And
What if they're like, I don't
those
want to
who-
overcome. I want to kiss a man.
Then let them suffer and die. That's their business.
Okay,
Just
that's a
don't-
very fundamentalist perspective,
just
not
don't-
dissimilar to ISIS, though.
Just don't impose it on us. I just say we would
That's
kill
not-
them. I
that's
said
not dissimilar to what a
ISIS
lot
would
of
kill
Muslims
them.
think, though.
ISIS would kill them, but
As a
I
matter
said
of
let
fact-
them suffer and die.
As a matter of fact,
Because people have a right to suffer
would
and
you?
die.
As a matter of fact, if we were to look at data, okay,
We can get all this
Americans-
data.
That's
You
kinda
can't
crazy.
believe data.
Oh,
Liberals
you
lie.
can't-
I'm not looking at some gay guy and I'm like, he needs to fucking die right now. He needs to suffer. It's a bit much, but I guess see what he's trying to say. I guess it's sort of like the you can do what you want, just don't fucking do it in front of me thing. Yeah, I get it.
save data.
Liberals lie, man.
Why?
Jesse Lee Peterson is absolutely right. There are plenty of Muslims who will lie straight to your face because they're playing the long game. This is all about Allah. This is all about conquering the world, which is literally a huge point of the Muslim world. So now we have
Entire Democrat Party, I guess supporting terrorism is not actually really good for your career in politics. Canada and Europe is still gay, massive Muslim drama, massive Christian drama, and massive Jew drama. The things that never happened. Lock in, boys and girls. I'm the only one that's going to cover this. I'm not going to lie. You're going to watch this video, you're going to be like, damn, I can't believe this happened, and no one's talking about it. And definitely no one's going to be covering it the way I do. Definitely subscribe, appreciate your support, and let's just jump right into it. Breaking news! The United Arab Emirates has seized 530 billion in Iranian assets, revoked all Iranian residency permits, including visas. Despite earlier 99-year residency promises, all promises fall to the curb when it turns out you are dealing with a rabidly vicious terrorist regime that has been trying to bomb and kill you endlessly because they hate you and life in general. Call me Islamophobic, but I'm not more Islamophobic than Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Currently, those two countries are literally Iran's #1 and 2 haters. United Arab Emirates is stealing their money, and we got Saudi Arabia joining the war, as I reported on yesterday. Now, Iran is still trying to take the so-called high ground after bombing all of their friends and neighbors by saying that the United States and Israel are committing a genocide in Iran.
Aggressors who are arrogantly shouting no mercy, no quarters, and threatening to strike Iran's vital infrastructure have been attacking hospitals, ambulances, health workers, Red Crescent restaurants, refineries.
Yawn! Iran massacred 40,000 of their own people over 2 days. All right, the people protested in the streets, and they came out with machine guns and tanks, and they massacred 40,000 of their own people, silencing the internet for months now, literally to stifle their screams as they killed them en masse. Iran has backed multiple Christian genocides in the Middle East. Iran is literally every single day firing cluster munitions at civilian targets in Israel. Cluster munitions meant to maximize civilian casualties. That's literally the goal, as opposed to the United States and Israel's pinpoint strikes at infrastructure. Yes, casualties happen. Yes, people die in war, but that's not the same as directly trying to maximize civilian casualties like Iran has been doing. As proof, I think the current number is 14 Israelis were killed by Iran. 100% of them were citizens. There were 0 military casualties on Israel's behalf from Iran, and every single casualty to this war was a civilian. So it's really nice of Iran to sit there and lecture the United States and Israel about human rights violations while their entire culture is premeditated on human rights violations. I'm sorry if this sounds Islamophobic, but I'm actually against the rape of children. I know, Muslims everywhere furious at me.
Water sources and residential areas. War crime and crime against humanity are not sufficiently describing the gravity of the atrocities they are committing.
Oh shit, you guys must be scared to start pulling out the war crime and the drama.
The aggressors' targeting pattern, accompanied by their rhetoric, leave little doubt
The rhetoric.
as to their clear intent to commit genocide.
If there was a genocide, we would have dropped a fucking nuke on your head, okay? Alright? If we wanted to commit genocide, we'd be dead right now. The only reason why we didn't nuke Iran is quite literally because we don't want genocide. We want your Islamic regime, which, by the way, let's not forget or obfuscate, has been trying to kill us for the last 47 years, chanting death to Israel, which is a genocidal chant, and death to America, which is a genocidal chant, all right? We wanted to stop you guys from committing genocide, so we bombed the fuck out of terrorists, and it was awesome, actually. But this is literally Arab warfare. They release epic music videos. They release all sorts of threats. They declare war. They commit acts of terrorism. They start shit up. We fight back. They lose. They cry genocide. It's every single fucking time in the last 950 years of Arab warfare. But I think you misunderstand something, Mr. Islamic Republic of Iran Ministry of Foreign Affairs guy. We don't fucking care what you call it. Oh no, you're racist. That's nice that you think so. I don't care what you think. You're Islamophobic. Well, I'm against the rape of children. Sue me. Now, for some slightly terrifying news, there is talk of ground forces.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. After 4 weeks of war in the Middle East, the conflict grinds on. Reports indicate the United States is preparing for a possible weeks-long ground operation in Iran that would include thousands of U.S. service members. Over the weekend, the USS Tripoli, manned with 3,500 troops, including 2,500 Marines, arrived in the CENTCOM area of operation. If an operation is ordered to seize Iranian oil facilities or enriched uranium, it's expected that both special forces and conventional forces would be used. This comes as the United States and Israel launched a series of strikes against Iranian military infrastructure over the weekend, including hitting Iran's nuclear development facilities.
In Operation Rising Lion, we hit very hard the entire chain of nuclear production in
Hey, what's up?
We hit everything from the production
Everything go all right?
from the factories, all the components, to the centrifuge.
It's going all right.
So
How about you? Did you get that file?
it was effective. It was delayed, but it was not completely destroyed.
With the Israelis looking east, they're also looking north, where early Saturday an IDF soldier from Connecticut was killed in southern Lebanon.
Did you get that file?
His name was Moshe Katz.
Because if you didn't, I'll look into some sort of system of getting them to you. I might have to download some software, but I don't know. It all depends on whether or not you got it.
You know, they heal, they sit there forever, and then it ends up forever war. I'm still confident we're not going to have a forever war. I don't want boots on the ground at all. If there needs to be a ground operation, I am praying it's super swift with 0 casualties, because I'm actually very not for that. I am all for obliterating the enemy.
All right.
Now, U.S. and Israel strikes Iran of Bushehr nuclear plant and Tehran University. This is a pretty massive story. Now, one thing important to note, a lot of the Iranian commands was taking place in universities because they obviously don't want to go to their military installations or we're going to fucking kill them. So on March 28th, the U.S. and Israeli airstrikes hit Iran's nuclear power plant for the 3rd time. Major universities in Tehran,
Well, I could download an editing software and cut them down before I send them to you. I'll try that. I'll try that. Tomorrow I'll look into, I actually know the editing software.
Literally invaded Ukraine. Remember, these are the guys claiming that we're doing a genocide. We're doing a genocide, they say.
Yeah, I'll get the editing software. I know a free editing software that I fucked with before. It's on my old computer. I gotta re-download it, and I'll be able to do that.
In West Palm Beach. All right, this is actually really scary.
I probably should have thought of that before.
Yeah, that's really scary. That does seem like another attempted assassination of our president. Obviously, we've taken out a lot of Ayatollahs so far, so this is absolutely what they're trying for. But we've already convicted 2 people as part of separate Iranian terrorist plots to assassinate Trump. And if you'll stay with me for the next couple Ayatollahs, this is going to get even hairy. So, Israeli naval commandos raided a school in Qiyam, Lebanon. All right, this is a Hezbollah base. Of course, it's in a school, obviously, because terrorists literally put their bases in schools. So, no one's surprised to see a literal terrorist base inside of a school. So that the moment you strike terrorists, they're like, oh my god, you struck a school, it's human rights. Now, here's the really, really scary shit. All right, so this is the footage from inside the quote-unquote school. This is a school that was used by Hezbollah terrorists. All right, now look how insane this is. All right, so there's all sorts of guns, all sorts of weapons, turrets, all sorts of crazy shit. All right, nice pictures of terrorists and all that. You love to see it. Pretty glorious stuff.
Well,
but
hey,
this is fucking insane.
You'll have to get used to that because I don't know what I'm doing on the computer, so everything's going to be trial and error. I mean, that is that necessarily isn't your problem. I mean, it does get probably does get frustrating waiting for me to figure it out, but
The new one is the U.S. The UN condemned us for not wanting to give
once I figure it out, then it's not a problem anymore.
from Uganda. This literally happened 2 days ago. I'm not joking. I made a whole video on it. So I'm not exactly surprised that these fucking retards are literally working with the enemy, but every time I see evidence to it, it's just insane. So here you have a Hezbollah flag. You might recognize it from Hassan Piker's favorite flag tier list. Right next to images of different Hezbollah terrorists and the United Nations shit that was delivered to them. Guarantee you will not see this story on CNN. Yeah, not going to be on CNN. In fact, this is Hamas terrorists showing up to work at the UN with rifles in hand. They swap out their AKs for blue UN vests to get in UN marked vehicles, start their day jobs as UNRWA employees. Look at this shit. Here you have literal Hamas terrorists with machine guns and rifles. All right, and there they are. They swap out the rifles. This is insane. And terror shooting at civilians in UNRWA. Yeah, many such cases, it seems. Honestly, fucking sick shit. I always hated the UN, but this is a whole other level. I mean, are we really surprised? The UN, who's been totally captured by radical Islamists, because, you know, over a quarter of the UN is run by Islam, and that's not even including France and Spain and England, who's also run by Islam, and it turns out they're literally funding Islamic terror organizations. I'm not exactly surprised, but I am definitely not suicidal. I have no suicidal thoughts. I love my family, and also fuck the UN. This is my stance. I'm a very simple man. And John Clee says, well,
got old Nux screaming at me.
Is this gonna be on CNN? Obviously, no one expects it. Now, this is the new spin that fake news has been trying to put in. VP Vance says Trump's military operation in Iran should not last longer than 1 to 2 years. That is a long time. It's been discussed as a limited operation. Talking about it going on for 1 to 2 years is insane. We've been estimating 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 years? Well, this went super viral. As you can see, tons of people started reporting on this. 1 to 2 years, Vance says. But if you watch the actual quote, Vance does not say that at all. Just got to debunk fake news.
We needed to meet them for a very, very long time. So you're right. Gas prices have certainly gone up because of what's going on in the Middle East, but they're going to come down.
Yeah, I will.
Very temporary reaction to what is going to ultimately be a short-term.
What am I doing? Oh, I gotta put these bags back. Okay.
We're not interested in being in Iran a year down the road, 2 years down the road. We're taking care of business. We're gonna be out of there soon, and gas prices are
all right. I can start a new day here.
Vice President Vance says this is not going to be a long war. We have no interest in a long war. This is going to be a short war. We're not planning on being there for like a year or two. And the way it's been reported, literally everywhere,
I want to look into the new mixing station.
Not last longer than 1 to 2 years. Unbelievable disingenuous framing. Holy shit. Now, the crazy part is, you got these so-called base right-wing influencers being fucking retarded.
Well, I hope so.
This thing goes south, we need to know exactly who talked him into it and what representations were made to convince the president that
I'm already looking into researching not necessarily other games, but other things I can do on stream that'll be more interactive with the chat.
Bibi Netanyahu first and foremost. Lindsey Graham.
I want to start building building an audience.
Fox News and General Jack Keane were major advocates of the war.
All right, we're gonna throw that in there. I came over here. Oh, I wanted to look at the new mixing station. Run.
All the Jewish podcasters, you know.
See how much they're gonna soak me for it. What is that? No.
Terrorist is awesome, actually. I don't know, maybe it's anyone that's part of the 40% of America that fully backs this war. Or, I don't know, the 95% of MAGA that supports this war. Again, this is wild.
Okay. Like those guys, but they appear to have been very wrong. That this was a good idea.
Wrong? How do you know? How do you know this is not a good idea? What's not a good idea about this over the last 4 weeks? We obliterated their missiles. We have demolished.
It just told me I had to.
Whatever they had. We're attacking their actual infrastructure to build more missiles. How do you know this is a bad idea.
We could keep going. Mark Levin.
Oh, I do need baggies though.
Every night on Fox News out there, urging the president to do this, and then he had a meeting with him in June where we know he denied.
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, but I want to get back up to the 100, 120 I was like a couple weeks ago.
And by anti-war, I mean like the gay anti-war. I'm also anti-war. So in my opinion, because
I mean, yeah, 62 is a pretty good number, but dude, there was at one point I had a stream where I had 150 viewers. I need to know what reels them in, man.
My stance is you fucking obliterate them before they have the ability to actually wage war properly.
But I think if I interact with people more, it would. My record's like 155. But there was like a week or two that I had usually between 100 and 120 viewers per stream. Well, per morning stream. My evening streams usually didn't get that high, but I was doing in the 60s and 70s in the evening stream.
Who were practically frothing at the mouth for this thing, and now that it's not only going poorly,
it's literally not going poorly. It's going fucking amazing. It's so wild watching these like podcast bros, in this case podcast hosts, just going out there, just parroting the public opinion talking points again and again. Look, ever since I saw Making California,
Yeah, I was super excited that day. I'm trying to remember what I think I was playing Hightail.
And then she's out there backing up Candace Owens' conspiracy theories that Israel and Sumerian time travelers and Erica Kirk all worked together to kill Charlie Kirk. I'm like, literally, what the fuck is happening? Like, this is the most unbelievable.
Now that I'm doing this, I wanna.
Right? But how is this war going badly? We obliterated their entire leadership. We took out 97% of their missiles. How is this going badly? It's going fucking phenomenally as far as wars go.
but the president's poll numbers are in a precipitous free fall. We'd love to see some accountability. Who
accountability? Yes. I am a covert feminist, and I want a man to publicly humiliate himself. It will not benefit our country in any way, but I will gleefully smile at a man humiliating himself by taking accountability. Literally, what does this even mean? Accountability? This was all Trump. Literally all Trump. He was the man who made the final decision. He was lobbied on both sides by many people, and he decided this because for 40 years, he was promising to do it. Saying that we're losing the war to Iran just immediately destroys your credibility in my eyes. Meanwhile, this is how the war is going with Iran. Right? So this is Iran firing a missile, and the missile flies right back down and blows itself up. All right, there it is. Moving along. Wow, what a shot. What's going on? Oh shit, what's happening? What's happening to the missile? Uh-oh. No, I wasn't supposed to do that! Yeah, so, you think they're winning, bro? Are you serious? Are you serious? They just fire missiles that lands on themselves, and they're like, they condemn us of genocide. Pretty awesome stuff. Now, apparently Vance and Netanyahu got into a little bit of a beef. All right, and I think this is pretty crazy.
J.D. Vance intense call with Benjamin Netanyahu as he rips Israel's prime minister for selling easy Iran war to Trump. He's confronted him on a call, despite the killing of Iran's supreme leader, hardline.
Now, for those of you that have actually been following my coverage of everything, you'll know my stance here, because I was actually proven so right about this. I think Vance is trying to swoop in as this peacemaker. I think Vance is going to be like the anti-war guy. He's going to have like the Tucker Carlson platform in 2028. He's going to say, I tore Benjamin Netanyahu to shreds for trying to get us into this war. I'm the guy that made peace. I'm anti-war. My guess is that's going to be his platform in 2028. And this fits right into that. So if you've been paying attention to the Nuxenor coverage of things, you will notice how vindicated I am like every day.
Factions have tightened their grip on power. Before the war, Bibi really sold it to the president as being easy, as regime change being a lot likelier than it was, and the VP was clear-eyed about some of those statements, a source told Axios.
The VP understood everything perfectly, which is why he also allegedly urged him to go to war and then changed his mind after he saw podcasters not happy at him.
Vance, who reportedly advised Trump against going to war with Iran, was appointed by the president to help lead negotiations to end the conflict. A day after Vance's call with Netanyahu,
All right.
Israeli news outlet owned by the GOP
That sounds like a plan.
Adelson reported that the vice president had yelled at Netanyahu over Israeli settler violence against Palestinians in the West Bank. Yeah, because it's unnecessary. Duh. And you missed the moment Trump launched the attack. Wait, what about this? I haven't seen this.
I've covered 5 different presidents. I have never seen one other than Donald Trump who regularly takes phone calls from reporters. When I called, I was
Bro loves to talk.
actually calling to ask him if he was firing Kristi Noem. The conversation then turned to Iran, obviously. A major decision which may define not just his presidency, but his entire political career. And I have to say, he just sounded incredibly triumphant. He said to me, "They're calling me the GOAT of all time." And he asked me, and this...
I don't know why I renamed it.
He said to me, "They're calling me the GOAT, greatest of all time."
That's my president.
This is a real guy. Jonathan Karl from ABC. Trump rejected Netanyahu's proposal for a call for uprising in Iran, saying, "Why the hell should we tell people to take to the streets when they'll just get mowed down?"
Whoops.
Trump loves humanity. Look, man, say what you want about this guy. All right, I think Netanyahu is a lot more of a, let's just say, utilitarian in this regard. And Donald Trump ends up being the humanitarian every single time.
Right. The White House suggested foreign diplomats advance could lead a U.S. delegation. Iran said it will not negotiate with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, deeming them, as the UK did, as foreign assets serving Israel, instead demanding to negotiate with J.D. Vance.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? They're literally aligning Vance. Vance is the peace guy. What do you mean?
The VP, who has positioned himself as against the Iran war but supportive of the president, now has the chance.
I can actually make a routine.
So this is the one from.
That's easiest for me.
What does the off-ramp look like in Iran?
Well, the president said, look, we've accomplished the gross majority of our military objectives. I think you can make a good argument we've accomplished all of our military objectives. Gas prices have certainly
Hey, dude, why aren't you fertilizing?
But they're going to come down, right? This is a very, very temporary reaction to what is going to ultimately be a short-term conflict. I think the president's been very clear about this, that we're not interested in being in Iran a year down the road, 2 years down the road. We're taking care of business. We're going to be out of there soon, and gas prices are going to come back down.
Mr. President, if these talks go well and you reach a ceasefire agreement with Iran, do you believe Israel would abide by that agreement?
Yeah, of course.
I think Israel will be very happy with what we have. We just spoke to Israel a little while ago. I think they'll be very happy. This will be peace for Israel, long-term peace.
I think that, like, to the extent that it's the IRGC and that
they need to fucking obliterate that regime. That regime cannot last. Bro, you went to war, right? You went to war. You call it an excursion. We went on a side quest, kicking some Ayatollah ass. Bro, you need to kill these fucking guys.
Have any power in Iran? I think that things are going to go back to the way that they are right now. Basically, all we did was, like, mow the lawn. You know, okay, we got rid of all the leadership, right? And we blew up some of their bases, but they're going to rebuild the bases. They're going to get new leadership. They're going to have...
it might take them 30 years to actually do it, but you want to eliminate this threat and be fucking done with it.